Well, in the words of the great S Club 7, you are all I need to get me through. That is a niche reference to an S Club 7 track, which I'm not even confident was released as a single. Hello, I'm gay. And welcome to another episode of I've Had a Rosé, Let's Talk About Feelings with me, Sam Lake. It's the podcast where I chat to some wonderfully funny people about their relationship with emotions and feelings and how they process them. And guys, what a shitter of a week it's been. Listen, I did not realise when I said that I would release an episode every Wednesday that one of those Wednesdays would fall on the day where we discover the outcome of the US election. So at the point of listening to this, you are either in a very good mood or you're in a fantastic mood. So, you know, we'll hopefully things work out how please get him out. Please get him out. I don't, oh God. Guys, I was having such a good time. I was having such a good time last week. I had some lovely feedback about last week's episode. Thank you so much for that. Last week's episode with the lovely Chloe Pets. And people really seem to be enjoying this. And it's so nice to get some kind of positive messages sent my way in times like these, heading into a second bloody lockdown. You know, some people have been making the joke, oh, comedians, oh, are they just going to start a bunch of new podcasts? Look out for it. And I find that offensive rhetoric because I actually have started a podcast. And it's not because I want attention. I have nothing else to do. It's because the only way I can get my friends to talk to me is if I plan it weeks in advance and offer them very minimal exposure. Oh God, I do hope this podcast brings you some respite in these very difficult times. But not too much respite. I have to save some respite for myself, as we all do. I don't know what respite means. I was having such a good time. I was swanning around town, enjoying a pumpkin spice latte, unashamedly as well. In the autumn, I exude bottom energy during the autumn. I really do. It's something about it. I'm an absolute pumpkin spice little bitch. I really am. And I embrace that. I am all about seasonally branded high street chain beverages and snacks. Talk to me about a Pret Christmas sandwich. When they announced lockdown 2, that was genuinely my first concern. Am I still going to be able to get my hands on the Pret ham and plum jam baguette? All I want is my ham jam bag. That's all I want. And I was so concerned that I wouldn't be able to get it. I keep my fingers and my everything crossed that the sandwiches will still be available for public consumption. I do think that is the thing that we need to get us through. I don't know how you're going to get through lockdown, but I hope you are looking after yourself and your mental health and your well-being. Super important right now. I've been staring at a lot of screens, which isn't good, although it has led me to come up with some more amazing drag names. I know people enjoyed those last week. This week I came up with, this is going to be a stretch. That's not the name, although maybe. Welcome to the stage. This is going to be a stretch. I was surfing the net, surfing the net. I just got AOL. Now, I was visiting a website that I'd not visited before, and you get that pop-up, don't you? And so I thought a good drag name might be Annabelle Cookies, like Enable Cookies. I've said it out loud, and even I've lost confidence in it. Another one I came up with, and this is probably not due to an ongoing dispute with my current broadband provider, but I thought a good name would be Virginia Media. And I would book lots of gigs and then either be late for them or just not turn up. And then people would start saying, oh, Virginia Media, they're very unreliable, aren't they? They. So that's where my mind is at. Here again this week to welcome you into another wonderful episode with another amazing guest. And this week the guest is Karen Susan Hobbs. She is comedian and gynecological cancer awareness babe. She is an ambassador for the charity Eve Appeal. She does lots of work with them. You might have seen her in a documentary called 100 Vaginas. She was one of the 100 vaginas. I'm just going to say it. I think she had the best one. I think of all of the vaginas I've seen in the world, all of them are Karen's vagina. She gets it out willingly and educationally as well, which I think is important. And listen, get yourself a vagina that is adored by gay men. I think that's what we all want, right? She was a fantastic guest. This is a really interesting episode. We talk a lot about her anxiety and how easy it is for her to get into anxious states. We talk about bullies. We have a good old chat about bullies. If any of my bullies are listening, you can go suck on a hot cock. No, you know what? No, you've not earned a treat. And we just have a lovely giggle with each other. Lots of accents. She's the first guest who's insisted on being drunk for the podcast, which is very in keeping with the branding now that I think about it. Listen, I think you're going to enjoy this episode. I really do. I will speak to you in the middle of the episode. We've got another amazing sponsor. Well, I say amazing, like, you know, sort of on the same level as the one I had last week. And I will catch up with you at the end to see how you're all doing. Make sure you're hydrated. That's important to keep up that glowing skin that you have. Enjoy the episode. Without further ado, here is the amazingly talented Karen Hobbs. Welcome, everybody. We were just warming up with some misgendering with an IKEA representative there. Welcome to my guest for this episode of I Had a Rosé, Let's Talk About Feelings. It's the delicious Karen Hobbs.
Yay!
Hey, here she is. How
Hola,
are you?
hola.
Chica Jess, como se dice? ¿Qué
Así
tal?
bueno, así que yes.
Chica Jess,
Almuerzo bueno, papi.
Así que bueno, more searching for the perfect moisturizer.
Did you just say perfect moisturizer?
Yes, I did. I didn't know you spoke Spanish.
Así bueno.
Así que Jays. I will clarify very early on. If I refer to Karen as Beeje, that's because that's my special name for her. And if she refers to me as Daddy, that's her special name for me.
Yes.
Yes. So now that we've got that out of the way, how are you, Beeje?
Oh, here we are indeed. No, I'm fine. I am fine, but I've been on annual leave today, but I've still had to do work, so I'm a bit bitter. And I thought that after this, I might make a carrot and pepper soup.
Oh, hello.
But I don't think that's going to happen.
Do you not? Too much stress.
Exactly. It's too much stress slaving over the stove.
I had a minor breakdown trying to put together a simple dolmio pasta bake.
Do you know what? I actually don't think I've ever made a pasta bake. Like, look, sure, I've boiled fusilli and added a sauce. Who hasn't? But I don't think I've ever tray baked it, you know?
Really? You've got to get into it.
Well, so
Revolutionary.
what would you do? So tell me. So would I boil the pasta or put the pasta in hard?
Well, you really are. No, you get it because some of them say boil the pasta beforehand, and then some of them say you don't need to. But I say with a pasta bake because you're just covering it with sauce, and there's no shield from it from the heat of the oven. I say that you should just boil it to be on the safe side.
Yeah,
and then all that it still results in a lovely al dente bite once it's done.
So thumb it into the tray when it's soft.
Just thumb it in when it's soft. You know, don't worry if it's not hard. Yes. Now, Beej, let's get into some hard talk about your feelings, shall we? Now, the first guest Daddy's drunk. This is the first episode where we've been drinking. I've got an actual glass of rosé, and I believe you've got a gin.
Imagine, right, if I totally threw you under the bus and I was like, I'm just pouring myself another gin, but actually I've been sipping water the whole time and you were like slaughtered by the end of our chat and I just had such power.
I think we would both be winners in that scenario. Do you not
Then,
think?
yes, it'd be a win.
A chwyn,
A win
Jace.
win. Yeah, no, I'm on the ginnies, don't worry.
You're on the ginnies, lovely. The first question I ask all of my guests
Mm.
is, do you consider yourself to be an emotional person? Now, before Beeje answers,
Mm.
I think it's important to stress that I don't need to ask you this question because I already know. I think this perfectly sums up whether you're an emotional person or not.
Mm-hmm.
I have quite a recorded history across WhatsApp, across Facebook Messenger, of being sent random videos of you in absolute fits of tears, and you'll never know why at any given moment you're in those fits of tears. Sometimes it could be, like a beloved flatmate is moving away, or maybe you've gone through some grief, who knows. But then occasionally you'll get the video, you'll see the thumbnail, and Beej will literally be creased with tears. But you'll get a thumbnail, Beej is there in her fits of tears, and then the caption will say, she's just seen the end of Moana.
No, the thing is, I couldn't even get to the end of Moana. I couldn't even finich Moana.
Couldn't even get to the end of Moana.
No,
Does she meet the sea?
Oh,
Don't know.
don't. I
Your
literally
eyes
can't.
are already wet enough.
I can't.
But with that being said, I've sort of set you up. Do you consider yourself an emotional person?
No, not really. Right, so this is such... I didn't actually know that you were going to ask me this question, but because I knew it was about feelings and emotions, do you know what I watched to kind of like open my heart up and expose the wounds before I came on?
What did you watch?
I watched oh no. I watched a compilation video of people's pets being euthanized. And I swear on Arthur, my cat's life, I swear on his life, I watched a compilation video of pets being put down in their owner's arms. Oh my god!
That's not what I was expecting. I thought because Daddy enjoys watching a YouTube compilation to try and get some tears going. But
Yeah,
Daddy's thing is
your stand up.
Brings a tear to my eye just how much talent one person can have.
Sure.
Shut up! You're a guest here.
I really sob at silence.
That's just the noise that gets made when nobody comes to see you. Speaking of silence, I watch compilations of people getting their hearing aids switched on. Have you seen those?
Yes, and also I've seen lots of sight versions as well. So they kids club together and buy their teacher glasses because he's colourblind, that sort of thing.
Oh
my god!
Yes.
And also, Beej. Obviously, I mean, apart from the baby that she will provide to Daddy and his fiance, Beej doesn't like children.
No, she doesn't.
Apart from ones that have come from her egg. But I find those hearing videos with kids really emotional. Like when you see a baby hear its mum's voice for the first time. God, that really...
Doesn't it just send you?
Because
my God.
the connection between the two is just solidified when he can smile at his little... Oh, God.
It's just like you see like the sudden like light in the eyes.
Yes.
Where they're saying the baby's name and then it'll turn around and they'll be like, oh, they're talking to me. And we're like, oh my God, our baby can hear.
And when it smiles,
I also, the other thing that I watch, this isn't as relatable. Do you remember the TV show Stars in Their Eyes? It was hosted
Yes, Matthew
by
Kelly.
Matthew Kelly,
Mm.
and he get into some trouble for people thinking he was a paedophile or something.
Yeah, sure. I mean, let's not get
Let's not dwell.
libellious. Actually, I don't know why I'm acting like his manager. Like, we've got to stay away from that. Yeah, he probably fingered a
His
kid.
people
Yeah,
have been in touch.
yeah.
No, there's a video of there's a video of the show from like 1993, and this was before reality TV shows like made the prize of like £1 million recording contract. So people were just doing it for the honor and privilege, right?
Oh.
And so there's this video of this woman finding out that the public have voted her the best Alison Moyet impersonator of 1993. And she's in fits of tears, and she runs out onto the stage, and Matthew's just like, "You didn't expect to win, did you?" And she's like,
Oh.
it just warms the cockles.
And I bet she was one of those people that hadn't got much else on.
But you know that, but that just makes it so much lovelier.
No, it's beautiful.
Doesn't it?
It's beautiful that honestly, you know, like all joking aside, would have absolutely made her month.
Yes, because she did not amount to much after that. But to her, being like the best Alison Moyet she could be was just the most beautiful thing in the world.
That's gorgeous.
And this is, I mean, we're sort of already in this topic now, but the next question is about what triggers this emotional state for you. But we're sort of in that already, that it seems like you know what you want to go to in order to get if you're feeling like you want to have a good cry, for example, you know what you want to go watch.
Yeah, Death, 100%.
Is it Death?
Yeah, it's Death.
It's quite morbid.
Well, because it's the end of a life. Because I feel like if it's anything other than death, I feel like there's still hope. Do you know what I mean? So if it's a sad situation, you know, whatever, I feel like, oh no, but there could still be a chance that the kid gets found, or you know, the couple get back together. You know, the car is scraped off of the bridge. But if it's death, then that's the end. And I find things being final quite hard to deal with.
That's very interesting. Now, can I ask, does that apply to death in real life or death in fictional stories and TV dramas or TV shows that you love?
So whatever death I can get my hands on.
You just need death now.
Yeah. Honestly, like if I'm in 2017, when you and I performed the cult fringe hit in Edinburgh, the Daddy and Beeje Chat Show.
Yes, and we died every day. Yes.
We didn't die every day. We died all but two, when our two fans, Elaine and Nina, came.
Oh, Elaine and Nina, I do hope they're listening and watching and enjoying.
To be honest, Daddy, to be honest, if anyone is listening, it's Elaine and Nina. Like, literally, if anyone listens to this, it will be Elaine.
Definitely. But we love Elaine.
Oh, hi, EC, baby girl. You stay true.
Shout out, fan of the pod.
Thank you for the donut. Yeah, so, but there was one scene, wasn't there, where I had to walk on stage in floods of tears.
Yes. It did help that
I know, stop it.
You had to drink an entire bottle of wine every day, because when we wrote the show, when we had a loose idea of what the show would be, and then we wrote it the first 3 days we were actually supposed to do the run, we'd written the character of Beeje to be an alcoholic. So it's these two TV presenters. I was supposed to be very poisonous and vicious and spiteful, and you were supposed to be alcoholic.
I don't know where we got those roots for the characters.
No idea. In fact, do you remember when my fiance David, when his do you remember my fiance David, when his aunt came to see it, and he was saying that you needed to slag it up? Because there was one day where you got a tit out on stage.
Yeah, but that was an accident, remember?
Wink.
Wink, wink, nudge, fucking nudge.
So you were supposed to drink a bottle of wine throughout the show because we had real guests on and did an
Yeah.
actual chat show.
Yeah.
And I was supposed to join in with you. And then the month before the Fringe, Daddy got so drunk that he quit drinking for 5 months.
Do you want to tell the listeners why you quit drinking?
Yeah, because I got so drunk and then I ended up touching a clitoris, which I didn't think was something that was in my future. So,
can I just say, it wasn't my clitoris. That would never turn a man off the drink.
And Daddy saying this in all honesty, because we've spoken about this at length, Daddy wishes he was straight.
Yes, because we've said we actually think we would fuck if he was straight.
Yes, but do you remember why? Because Daddy's a tit man.
Yeah, and you love my tit, Daddy. You love my tits loads. Yeah, but I'm saying, but like, say you loved my tits and was straight, surely you'd want to fuck me.
At the very least, a tit wank.
Oh my god, I would love to do that for you.
Oh, it's just nice to have activities to do with friends. Do you know what I mean?
Isn't
Some people
it
join a running club, and we give each other a tit wank.
Could you imagine if I gave you a tit wank?
I think the Daddy and Beeje Chat Show Volume 2 could be coming.
But David wouldn't let me, would he?
Probably not. No, unless like.
What if I wore a mask of his face?
Probably still not.
So it was like David with slightly bigger tits.
We'll run it by him.
Okay, fine.
We'll workshop the idea.
Call him in. Hi, David. So death is what gets me going.
Yes, that's it. Do you know what? I don't know why I'm surprised by that, and I hope you don't.
Oh no! Hang on. This is what I wanted to tell you. Sorry, this is why I brought Daddy and Beeje up. So when I had to walk on stage every day, and cry, I imagined the pets that I'd had euthanized because they were not because they had because they were ill, not just like fuck it, the vet bill's too much. The pets that had passed away through natural causes or man-made. I imagined them sat in the audience when I walked onto the stage.
So every time we did the show, you were walking out picturing some people say, oh, picture the audience naked. You picture the entire audience as dead pets.
The ghost of my dead animals, yeah.
Okay, brilliant.
I just imagined, I was like, right, I'm going to walk out and I'm going to see Olivia.
Olivia was a...
Newton John. No. Olivia was my cat when I first moved to London. For example, so I would be like, okay, she's going to be on the front row and I'm finally going to get to see her again.
Yes, her dying wish was to be able to see you on stage.
Oh my god, she got run over and her head got crushed. It was so sad.
All
right, thanks.
Can I? Well, yeah. Oh God, your cat's dead. Oh no. Can I ask? Is this a fair connection to make that death is the thing that gets you the most emotional because in your everyday life, death is something that you deal with a lot and from different angles and perspectives as well, because you are an ambassador for the Eve Appeal, the gynecological cancer charity.
Well done for reading that off your notepad.
Do you know what? Daddy fully said that from memory. I'm very proud of myself.
I love you so much because I don't even know where you work.
But you do. Does that job? It sounds very morbid, but I imagine there are difficult stories around the work that you do in raising awareness of these gynecological cancers.
Yeah, it's weird. I think, how sometimes people say, like, the more you see or hear or do something, kind of you become desensitized to it. So
yes.
I don't think, like what you're saying, I completely agree with you. I don't think I've become desensitized to it. Because even though death is kind of a part of my everyday job, and that kind of sounds like I'm an embalmer, doesn't it? Or run a funeral parlour. Welcome to Beeje's bye-byes.
Or if you opened a crematorium, Beeje's burners.
Oh no! Beeje's bashes. But I don't think I have become desensitized to it. Like one of our kind of sort of people that sort of did media stories, kind of case study sort of people. She passed away a couple of weeks ago, so we went to her sort of online funeral, and you think you've seen everything during lockdown, but then
Oh, wow.
yeah,
Like a Zoom funeral.
it was literally like, here's the Zoom link to the funeral. You think after, so I've been doing this job for 4 years, and I would have thought I would be desensitized to it. And then obviously, as soon as you are in one world, like the cancer world, you then, even outside of your job, are naturally drawn to sort of people and events and stuff that are related to what you're interested in. So it feels like everyone is dying because
Yeah,
of the stuff you surround yourself with, and it doesn't get any easier, Daddy. I always think, oh
I
well,
can imagine.
yeah,
Yeah.
because it's someone. It's like I was saying earlier, because it's not someone being poorly. It's the end of that journey of being poorly, and that means that there's no chance they're going to get better. And I find
see.
that like the fact that it's something, it's so final, and I just find that so incredibly hard to deal with.
Absolutely. Can I just quickly ask, did
Mm.
somebody pay for a professional Zoom account for the funeral? Because I would hate for someone to be in the middle of a really emotional eulogy
And it
and
cuts
then
off at the
yeah. Oh, okay, we've only got 2 seconds left. Bye, Sharon. Okay, bye.
Oh my god, could you imagine if it was just like stop all the clocks, hang up the phone, prevent a dog from barking with a juicy
What? Why was she Scottish?
No, she wasn't Scottish, but that's the poem from Four Weddings and a Funeral. When John Hannah, his partner dies, and
Daddy has never seen Four
You've
Weddings and a
never
Funeral.
seen Four Weddings and a Funeral?
Honestly, never. I've never seen that. I've never seen Notting Hill.
Should we have a Hugh Grant marathon?
Oh, should we?
Daddy, that's the most beautiful bit in the poem. It's like, he was my north, my south, my east, my west, my working week, and my Sunday rest.
That's very beautiful.
You honestly couldn't give a shit, and I respect how disinterested.
Couldn't give a bugger's toss.
A bugger's toss. You honestly, I respect how disinterested you are, and we'll move on. No. They didn't pay for a professional Zoom account, but they capped it at 40 minutes.
Stop it.
No, seriously, they were like, it's going to be done in 40 minutes. I think because someone else needed the room. I don't know.
We're just going to put her in the box, get it over with.
It's COVID, isn't it? Like, times are busy. Like, someone died. Someone else died, obviously, because life ends, and their funeral isn't until mid-November, and they died ages ago, because honestly, everywhere is booked up.
Even for funerals?
Yes, because of Daddy. Yes. Where have you been? Well, people are dying.
Because, well, no, I just think, like, with funerals and weddings, we all hear about
four weddings to every one funeral.
Oh, God. But, like, you hear about the number of people you're allowed there. Mm-hmm. So Dave and I have been planning to, like, off a few grandparents so we can have more people at the wedding. But if you don't think that, like, oh, there's actually more people dying potentially. Mm. So there's a backlog of funerals to get through.
Yeah, it's like in winter. Like, my fake auntie, so my nan's friend, died once and didn't have her funeral for weeks and weeks because it was over Christmas, and it was obviously in the midst of a very cold winter. Honestly, like, yes. Funeral schedules are seasonal, Daddy.
Wow. I genuinely just thought that the funeral was scheduled as soon as possible after the death.
No.
So that the body could be taken from the hospital or the morgue and straight to wherever it's to
be people are stored for weeks on end.
Wow.
It's interesting, isn't it?
That we've definitely learned something. Beeje, I'm gonna stop you there for a second because we actually just need to take a quick moment to hear from our sponsors.
Oh, for God's sake!
No, Beeje, we generally have sponsors. I know last week's sponsor wasn't great, but I'm sure this week's sponsor is going to be much, much better.
Okay.
So we'll be back with more bereavement with Beeje after the break. We'll see you in a second. Guys, we've got another sponsor this week, and this episode has been brought to you by the wonderful people at Very Hard Butter. I don't know about you, but I can't be dealing with any of this spreadable nonsense. No. Give me the butter that I grew up with. Butter that even if you take it out of the fridge and leave it on the counter overnight, it is still somehow solid as a block of ice. That's the kind of butter Daddy wants to spread on his toast. And when I say spread, I mean chip a bit of butter off of the block somehow with 2 butter knives and then spread it on the toast, thus shredding the toast completely whilst also not covering it in much butter at all. And the folks at Very Hard Butter, they've done an amazing job with this service. You can get yourself blocks of Very Hard Butter delivered right to your door, and you know what, it's green, it's energy efficient because they save money on not needing to use refrigerated vans because there's no chance that this butter will ever change state. So if you use the offer code rosé on the veryhardbutter.com website, you can get yourself 20% off your first 40 bricks of Very Hard Butter. And I'm going to be honest with you, you're going to want to buy more than that. You're going to want to buy a lot more than that because they have so many other uses. You could use them as doorstops and other uses. They have so many uses, guys. It's really an investment. So that's 20% off using the offer code ROSÉ, Very Hard Butter. Get it down, you lad. Thanks so much to them for sponsoring this week's episode. And now back to the show. And we are back. Thank you very much to the sponsors there. And we are here with the bouncing, beautiful, busty, Daddy's a tip man.
Very
buxom,
busty.
Very busty, heaving bosom of Karen Susan Hobbs. Or as I call her, Beeje, as we learnt in the first half, and I am her daddy. I'm her biological father. Beeje, are you with us? Are you well? Are you having a good time?
Daddy, I'm here.
And whether you're having a good time or not, you're just going to leave that to me. You're just going to leave it hanging.
I poured a second. I was going to say I poured a second Beeje in the ad break. Yes, I poured a second gin in the ad break. So you know, loose lipped and loose talking.
There we go.
The
classic vagina human that is the Karen Susan Hobbs brand.
Yes, very branded.
Now, Karen, we're going to get into maybe some like stories about your more emotional times. So if I may be so bold, can I ask you about a time that maybe your emotions got the better of you, that maybe you got emotional and then they took control and you just couldn't stop it? They were out of control.
Yes, but it's very embarrassing.
Well, that's perfect. That's absolutely gold content.
They're like, that's what I want to hear.
That's exactly, give my listeners what they want. Elaine is at home waiting. Now, I will preface this by saying that I think I know the story you're going to tell.
Well, what story do you think I'm going to tell? Just say one word that you think.
Polenta.
So I was summering in Spain, and so I work for a cancer charity. So obviously we had pre-COVID kind of monthly bake club, and it was my turn, and it was the first one I'd done, and oh god, so I really wanted to impress. I didn't want to do a shit cake. Not could you imagine? Oh god,
like in The Help where she shits in a pie.
Eat shit and leave. Anyway, so I really wanted to impress. So I found this recipe. It was for a lemon and lime polenta cake. You kind of use polenta instead of flour.
Oh, see, you've already gone in at a very high difficulty
I know. A level too difficult for me. And then with like a yogurty elderflower icing, and then crystallized lavender and rose. And that bit sounds extravagant, but actually they were just out of a pot and sprinkled on top. Cake comes out, is placed somewhere on the worktop, wherever I could find, a 25 centimetre diameter space.
Yes.
Let it cool down. I don't even wash up in the cooling down period because I'm so overwhelmed. I think I went and lay down on the living room floor.
Not even on a sofa,
No,
just the
just the
floor.
floor, just for a breather, right? Then
Yeah.
I come back to the kitchen to ice the cake. Obviously, I'm met with the mess all over again. So it's like some sort of horrific rebirth. So I'm not in the best headspace when it comes to icing the cake. So I get my bowl of icing, which we all know is too runny from the previous thing I just said. And I start to put it on top of this lemon and lime polenta number. And
Okay.
as I said, it falls off the side. The consistency is honestly wetter than when I'm ovulating. It was
And that's incredibly wet.
very wet. A lot of thin discharge to carry the sperm up.
That's a ride at Thorpe Park.
Oh my god, log flume. Yes,
Oh,
please. No,
yeah.
that would be anal, wouldn't it? Log flume.
Oh, that's disgusting.
Yet accurate. Anyway, so look, the icing is fucked, and I'm thinking, and it's getting to 11:30 at night at this point, and the whole fucking recipe said it would take 40 minutes. I went shopping at sort of 5. 7 hours later, the cake is out the oven, right?
Jesus Christ.
Oh my god, the cake is out the oven 7 hours prior to purchase of the ingredients, and I'm in a state. This icing's sliding off, the mess is all around me. It's midnight on a Sunday at this point. I've got to do my showstopper first thing Monday morning when I walk into work to kick everyone's week off in style. That's what we're all hoping for. Well, Daddy, I don't know how else to word it other than I had an anxiety attack so bad, I honestly collapsed to the floor. My left arm went blue, like the fingers were
Stop
blue.
it.
No, I swear, my chest pain was so severe. My arm was tingly, my fingers were blue, and I had an anxiety attack so extreme that I thought I was having heart failure.
Oh my god.
So I call 111. And then as soon as they hear that I've had cancer, which I haven't mentioned until now, so you're very...
We've been recording for an hour and you've not mentioned it once.
I know, and I'm really fucked off you didn't ask me earlier when we were talking about death and cancer. You invaded asking about my own diagnosis.
I'm sorry for thinking that you're about more than your cancer diagnosis.
Well, I think I've proved that I am, so suck it. And as soon as they've said, if you've got any pre-existing conditions or things like that, and as soon as I say, I had surgery for cancer a couple of years ago, they're like, go to hospital. Even though it's not related at all. So I'm in A&E, and so I get to A&E at sort of about 12:30, and bearing in mind I get home at sort of 5:30 in the morning. I have to get up for work at 7. But when I get to A&E, I explain what's going on. I sit and wait, and then they do the initial assessment and then send you back to the waiting room.
Yes.
And in the initial assessment, they hooked me up to the kind of, is it the ECG pads, the little heart monitor?
Yeah. They're monitoring your heart.
Exactly. So they did that because that was kind of what I was there for. What I thought I was there for that. And it was this lovely nurse, and he was like, "Can I ask what's happened? Like, what's brought you here?" And I have honestly never felt like such a millennial cunt. I had to say, like, rather than, I just found out my father passed away, and I witnessed a car crash and went into shock. I just had to say I was baking a cake, and the elderflower icing was too thin.
And it put you in A&E.
Yeah, and I collapsed. And anyway, I had bloods done later. I had a chest X-ray, so I had to waddle over to the X-ray area in a gown, thinking if only I'd used more yogurt. Oh my god. So it was just so embarrassing. Obviously, there was absolutely nothing wrong with me other than I'd had an anxiety attack, which isn't anything to be sniffed at. It's all very serious, but it did not warrant a fucking scan, bloods, ECG monitor at Lewisham A&E on a Sunday at 3 a.m. So I would say, Daddy, that is a time when emotions got way, way, way better than me.
Can I just say I have never wanted to clap harder for our frontline workers?
No, They really,
Oh
really were put
my.
through their paces when I turned up.
Absolutely. Oh, lovely. I would like to introduce you to a segment that I like to call Stick a Cork in It. And this is a segment where you have the right and privilege to tell anybody in the world, be they real or fictional, uh, anywhere on the gender spectrum. There is no race, creed, or colour that this is restricted to. You may tell anybody to stick a cork in it who has wronged you or has done wrong by you. Is there a person that comes to mind?
Yes, her name is Ellie, and she bullied me at secondary school. Let's fucking go.
Let's fucking delve in. What year are we talking? Year 7, 8, 9, 10, 11?
Yeah, about year 7, definitely year 7, some of year 8, and some of year 9.
Oh, so she had a thing. She had an agenda.
She's honestly an absolute piece of shit.
And can I ask, are we still in touch with her to
Are
this
we
day?
fuck? Are we fuck?
Fantastic. Yes, exactly. Now, do you know what? I'm already against this Ellie or whatever her name was. Tell me what she did to Beeje.
She was just so disgustingly cruel. So if this is an example, I'll give you 2 examples. Actually, I'll give you 3
Lovely.
examples. 3 examples. 7 examples. 20, 21 instances.
So I'm going to 20. I'm going to 21. I'm going to go to 20.
I'm going to 21, 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 21. Is that I had my, when I say boyfriend, first boyfriend at 12, I don't mean like I was on it. I mean that my nan's neighbour had
yeah.
My nan's neighbour was 78. My nan's neighbour had a son called Mark with a C, who I weirdly saw 10 years later in a nightclub in Stevenage. And I think
it all kicks off in Stevenage.
It really does, and
it?
I think he was like volunteering for the Territorial Army or something. Not
in
at
the
the
nightclub.
no, not at the time when I was 12. Like when we saw each other again. Yes, Stephen is just so rough. They have to send the TA down to the leisure centre.
It's kicking off in the log flume.
It's kicking off at Chicago's. And so when I say boyfriend, I mean we went with 4 of his friends and 4 of my friends to the cinema and spent 2 whole school days working out what order we would sit in. So, you know, not really a boyfriend. I mean, we bought each other an Easter egg, you know, to really fucking consummate things.
Okay, so you were committed.
I was in it for the long run. And Ellie stole my phone, messaged him off of it, saying that I don't like him anymore. I think he's ugly and horrible and I don't want to see him again. But then deleted it from my sent box. So I didn't know she'd said it, and he was ignoring me. So I felt imagine you're 12 when this is happening. I felt really upset that my boyfriend, because she'd also put in the message like, don't reply. So for all I knew, my boyfriend was just ignoring me, and that crushes you at any age. I'm still ignored to this day, you know. And she just, I still can't get anyone to reply. And she hello, and she'd done this at 12. Like, what a manipulative cunt.
Done.
And I know, like, oh, kids can be cruel. There's the odd nasty comment, which I don't think is excusable, but, you know, kind of kids do sometimes say the odd nasty thing. But then there's premeditated, manipulative abuse.
I'm glad that Beeje has clearly and obviously let this go.
Yeah, like, obviously I'm fine now, which is why I can talk about it with such ease and neutrality.
Yes.
Oh, my God. And I sometimes look her up on social media from time to time.
You would. Oh, you would. Mm-hmm. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, she wears so much highlighter on her nose. She looks like the Tin Man from Wizard of Oz.
Oh, I know exactly the look. Yeah. She looks metallic.
Yeah. She's got these tiny little piggy currant eyes on her big old tea cake moon face. Oh, she's just fucking rank. And she fucking deserves it.
Well, Ellie, if you're listening, stop. Go fuck yourself, Ellie. Now let's wax lyrical about this because, sorry, that's just a youth speak. Daddy spits mad bars. let me ask you this, because I do find this an interesting topic. This is someone who unquestionably wronged you when you were younger.
Yeah.
Not that much younger. You're only 19. You're still very youthful. But what do you think about the whole thing of, like, you know, reformed bullies? You know, people who unquestionably were bullies when they were at school, but now, like, I don't know, you might see them on social media and see that they're leaving quite like a happy life and they're doing good in the world. But how do you feel about that? Like, if, let's say, Ellie comes along, say Ellie walks into your life out of nowhere, and she's just like, you know what, I'm so sorry if I hurt you back in the day. I'm a better person now. What would you think you would say?
I would need her to acknowledge that she'd first of all behave that way, to kind of acknowledge and accept what she'd done. That's the first step. Then I would need to speak to every friend and colleague that she'd had since we last saw each other, to check her behaviour over the last almost 20 years, to see if any of this stuff had reared its ugly head. If it had, then I would say, you're just saying this because I'm famous. If she truly had glowing references from everybody at a randomised anonymous survey of her character, then I might consider that she genuinely is sorry. But I still wouldn't want anything to do with her. Why would I?
I forgive you, but I'm not going to give you the satisfaction of, like, acting like everything's okay. I forgive you, but you still did a terrible thing.
Yeah, it's that classic forgive but not forget, right?
Yes.
And but I still wouldn't forgive her because she was horrible. Like, why should I? Why?
Oh, absolutely not.
I've clearly let it go.
You're not holding on to anything.
No, I've not. I definitely didn't let this rear its ugly head in our lovely chat.
I feel like that was very, like, I feel like we got a lot off our chest about bullies there.
We did, didn't we? And it's because we've both been bullied.
Yes. Oh, Daddy was bullied mercilessly.
So isn't it? It's so fucking painful and cruel. I don't think the people at the time when they do these things realise it sears you. It's the absolute lasting damage. 100%.
Yes. There were times where Daddy would, like, count the days that he went to school and didn't say a word. Because if he said something to somebody, then he was worried that people would, like, find targetability. I mean, you heard from the IKEA representative that Daddy gets misgendered on the reg, and that's just because of his voice. So picture Daddy as a teenager with hair down to his shoulders and a very beautiful feminine face that he would eventually grow into, but
just not there. We're just not there yet.
Just not there yet. So everyone thought I was a girl, and it was easy pickings. Then to imagine that the same people who made your life absolute hell had no idea they were even doing it. Imagine making somebody's life such a misery and then being like, oh, whoops, did I do that? I didn't even know.
Yeah.
Oh. Anyway,
and also I feel like if they didn't realise they were doing that, their parents should parent better and make them more self-aware and sensitive and considerate.
Yes, yeah, but then often, like, parents will just look at their children with, like, rose-colored glasses.
Oh, also, Ellie's mum was a total bitch as well. Like, it breeds. I really do think it's hereditary.
Well, the apple doesn't fall far from the bitch, does it?
No, exactly.
No. Oh, that was it. That was a cork well and truly stuck in a really tight bottle.
Thank you so much. That's what all the lovers say.
Because you can always promise them a tight opening because you've had your cervix removed.
Yes, which means my cervix can't dilate, so I'd have to give birth via cesarean, so my vagina will never rip to my anus.
We've had this talk before, so that when you give birth to the Daddy and Beeje child, as we will call them.
Yeah, fuck David, the dad.
The Daddy and Beeje child. So we're down to the last segment now. Sorry. This is normally when guests would say, "Oh no, let's talk for another 3 hours."
Do you know what? I'm just thinking I've got some tofu that needs frying and it's time to put bake-off on.
Yeah. Oh, it is. Oh, fuck. We've got 10 minutes in that case.
No, it's fine because you can start from the beginning on Channel 4. So it's
You
fine.
absolutely can. Modern technology.
But also,
Don't you just love
I
it?
don't want to start too late. So like,
No, no, no.
I'm going to be into the last section, but I'm not going to pretend I'm sad it is the last section.
We're not going to take the piss, are we?
No, we're not.
No. This is the last section that we like to call All the Feels. And this is a quick fire round. I'm going to give you some topics, and I just want, off the top of your head, how you feel about them.
Yeah.
Karen, Susan, Hobbs, are you ready?
Okay, let's do this, Dad.
All the Feels starts now. Houseplants.
Nurturing, responsibility, growth and hope.
Lovely. Strictly Come Dancing.
Something that I'm going to beat you on one day.
That's funny. Tell another one.
It's funny because it's true.
If you live that long. Sourdough.
Cunty but delicious.
True. Free school meals.
Absolutely beyond important, and it's a fucking joke that this is even a debate in our country.
Isn't it ridiculous?
Yeah.
Politics.
Are you going, politics because of free school meals, or are you talking about politics?
Politics is the
I thought you were like, politics, am I right?
Politics, what are you going to do? No, politics.
Something that I hope the younger generations will get better in the future.
Oh, very good.
Yeah.
Linda Barker, star of Changing Rooms.
That fucking shelf should never have been put up.
Oh, truer words never spoken. And finally, dark chocolate.
If it's got salted caramel in it, great. If not, then my mouth is not a soil box.
Thank you so much. No, do you know what? Flavoured dark chocolate, I understand. Or dark chocolate used in a recipe, absolutely.
Great, why not?
But just dark chocolate on its own, it's just chalky. And the texture is not pleasant.
No, if you, without a liquid to wash it down, a bar of 85% plus, well, honestly, it feels like I've got an allergy and my tongue is swollen up. No, thank you.
It feels like the chalky consistency of it feels medicinal.
Yes.
Like a pill that you can crunch up in your mouth. It just feels, or like a multivitamin. Do you know the chalky vitamins that you get?
It just feels like something that is supposed to be a treat, but just really isn't. Like anal.
Yes. Dark chocolate is equivalent to anal.
Dark chocolate is the anal snack.
Yes. Not that you eat it with your bum. It's just it has the same qualities as doing anal.
Of doing anal, 100%.
Just doing anal. Are we just going to do anal?
All right, very good. Daddy loves to end, and he had no balls. We love to quote each other, don't we?
We're just very quotable.
Oh, I am a stand-up comedian as well. I don't think Daddy has mentioned that at all during the episode.
No, that's because it will be mentioned in the pre-sample. So that's the bit that I record to introduce the episode.
Oh, fine. Sorry. In that case, I take that back. I should never have doubted you. I love you with all my heart and can't wait to breed a baby with you.
I love you too. I can't wait for our child. Karen, Susan, Hobbs, Beeje Baldwin.
Samuel Edmund Lake, Daddy de Barros.
Did you call me Edmund Lake?
Is it not Samuel Edmund?
Edwin.
Oh, for God's sake, that's even worse. Samuel Edwin. Edwin, is it?
Yes.
It's Edmund, I swear.
No, because Daddy has the voice of a Tory, but the mind, body, and spirit of not a Tory.
The mind, body, and spirit of an allotment owner.
Yes, you've been a fantastic guest here on I've Had a Rosé, and we've loved having you.
I know.
She's so humble as well. Karen, Susan, Hobbs, you've been a wonderful guest. Would you like to shamelessly plug anything?
I would say just follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Karen_Hobbs. Remember, I've had cancer, so be kind. And thanks for having me, Daddy. I love you.
I love you too. Thank you so much for being such a wonderful guest.
Oh, it's my pleasure. I adore you.
Oh, okay. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you so much.
Wow, what an episode we just went through. Karen is amazing. I sincerely encourage you to follow her on all platforms that you can. She's a bit of an influencer, our Karen. She influences. And I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, oh, sweet baby Jay, please leave a review. I think on Apple you can write a review, and that in some way wanks off the algorithm a little bit and, gets it a bit excited. So if you would be so kind as to leave a rating and a review, I would really appreciate that. If you need a theme for your review this week, write it in the style of that you're enjoying an autumnal day and then you see your greatest mortal enemy, and listening to this podcast convince you to confront them in a healthy but exploratory way. And I mean exploratory both in terms of your emotions and sexually. This has been a lovely episode to record. If you enjoyed me, why not sample the wares that I put out on social media? You can follow me at Mr. Sam Lake. That is MRSAMLAKE, not Mrs. Amlake as it looks written down. But it's too late to change it. It's too late. This has been a wonderful episode. And like I said, we're going to go through another stressful week heading into a second lockdown. There's going to be election fatigue that's going to have an impact on the whole world. So do look after yourselves. Take care of yourselves. Make sure you're drinking water. Do self-care. Be kind to one another. Oh God, I sound like Ellen. I sound like Ellen DeGeneres. Cancel me. Cancel my entire whole. Before cancel my entire whole. Be kind to one another. I can't stop. I really hope you enjoyed this week's episode, and I will see you again next week. I hope everything works out for the best. I want the best for you. Take care. Goodbye.